Hello and welcome back to the next video in the series. Lotus Technologies is what we're getting into today. Now you have completed your flame body, you've completed some of the code activations and inductions for the Shield of the Ark of the Covenant and activated the Golden Fleece buffer as well. And now we're going to get into the Lotus Technologies and what that is. I'm going to explain it very, very briefly. I do recommend you check out the Dance for Joy workshop where you are then introduced to the Lotus technologies, how they work, why we need them, why we need to activate them, what the purpose is, and everything. I will explain succinctly as possible. However, there's no way that I could absolutely convey the messaging that Speaker One relayed with the highly complex graphs that you need to see in the manual and the way in which she described what's happening with the Lotus technologies and the Lotus arcs, how they connect to the Cathar grid, for example, etc. There's so much more in-depth information. I implore you to please do this research yourself, as I'm just going to explain very briefly in order to introduce the technique, which will follow with Speaker 2, bringing you through Lotus Bud activation and then the different breath sequences for raising up the arcs. So the Lotus Technologies is essentially a 6-point breathing system. And so this is called, we have the Lotus Bud technique. And then of course you are doing breathing sequences from the EirA point, which is just below your clavicle here, above your heart chakra, okay? You can feel it with your fingers and feel like a dip or a dent in your chest area below your neck. That is the area where you have the EirA. And then you will then bring the frequency of breathing through with the Yumbi point, which is 2 fingers below your navel. And then the Rajna area, which is the lower pineal gland area, called the Lituelens as well. And then Earth's core, and then back up to chakra 14. So you're going to be breathing from these points whenever you're doing the Lotus grid breathing. And so the Lotus Bud technique is starting with density 1 level, the Cathara grid that is inside. As you know, we did look at the Cathara grids in another Keylontic Science series that I did, where we have grids embedded within grids within grids. And then, of course, we are within larger grids that describes our natural divine blueprint system. And so when we do the Lotus Bud technique, density level 1, the Cathara grid inside is density level 1. It opens up the flows between all the levels with the 6 breaths that we're going to do, starting from the EirA, then the Yumbi, then the Rajna, then Earth's core, then chakra 14. And so we are reaching these 6 densities, reaching up to finally the Ecka density 1, which is the 6th breath point that we do. You access all of those Cathara grids, all of those Merkabas in the full 12th dimensional level with 24 breaths. That is the sequence in the series with the Lotus technologies that you're going to do. And so what this does is it creates a natural flame body breathing circulation in motion. It turns around the D1 and D2 reversals that we have with our interior Merkabas. It is a profound healing practice. It will start to create the correct alignment and spin of your internal Merkabas, which then reverberates out to the larger Merkabas that you have. This will spread out through the grids, and everyone will begin the process of turning their reversals around. It is a gift to yourself, to planet Earth, and to others. So we are returning to the planet its restored flows of natural breathing rhythm to its natural avatar consciousness. Of course, everything that has consciousness has an avatar, such as ourselves, such as planet Earth, and we are returning that natural rhythm for avatar consciousness access. It clears the Biveka mutation, it clears the mental and emotional bodies, activates the full manifestation wheel, the Veka Muhadra. which we will get into at later videos. So whenever we're doing this breathing, there's a natural rhythm that unfolds. With an inhale, you are bringing in the EirA frequencies, the magnetic frequencies, the lower Merkaba frequencies. When you exhale, you're bringing in the ManU frequencies, the electrical frequencies, the top Merkaba frequencies. And then with that pause breath, you're bringing in the ManU frequency as well. It's the beginnings of manifestations with breathing and with the Christ code that we'll get into later. So you have to visualize this process, but really trust that these frequencies that you're building and working with and know where to go. So don't worry about the visuals too much, but just know that we're working with the heliotalic frequency, which is that rainbow ray, which is coming in from an angle, a 45-degree angle with the heliotasis line there to our right shoulder in Cathara point 6, which is here on our right shoulder. And so just know that when you're breathing in this bipoint and then a tripoint. So you're breathing in down frequencies, you're breathing up frequencies from our core, and then at the same time, you're bringing in the heliotalic frequencies on an angle into the area that you're working within. Okay, and speaker 2 will lead you in this, starting with the bud activation first, and then continuing on with the breathing sequence as EirA, then Yumbi, then Rajna, then Earth's core, then chakra 14. Okay, and this completes the sequence when you do all of those areas. So when you breathe in, you imagine a ball of heliotalic frequency, which feels like cooling water or even vapor or smoke in a way. And maybe if you can't visualize it, you can try to sense it. And then you can try to imagine a metallic rainbow, soft pastel rainbow frequency happening in a ball that you form in your as EirA. Okay. And then when you do is you break it up into 6 smaller balls in the area. And with your quick breaths, you breathe them out and you bring them to your first density 1 area. And then again, you don't pull them back in, but you just and you kind of gently pull them out towards the what you imagine to be the areas outside of your field that represent that dimensional space that we're reaching and we're accessing. And this brings you to density 6 within the 6th final breath, the Ecka density 1. And then you breathe it all back in where you started from. Okay. Then you move that heliotelic ball to the other location and you're doing it again. Blow out the balls in the same format. There will be one vertical, one definitely down, and one up. And then there will be ones that go on a 45-degree angle, okay? And so this is raising the arcs. This is accessing that frequency from Ecka density 1, which is our universe, right? We are connecting to a higher frequency, a universal frequency, where before the Amorea buffer was working within dimensions 14, 15, 16, density 4, or sorry, density 5, we were working within the Kira rainbow ray frequencies, but now we're going outside of that and much higher. And so the Lotus Bud Technologies is profoundly healing. And please watch the workshops with the Dance for Joy workshops, and those will definitely help you get a further understanding as to the mechanics of what you're doing, how this works, what the impact is. It's quite a powerful breathwork technology that we have. And it also explains in the workshops why other breathwork systems are actually creating a reversal and making things much, much worse. And so we want to be cognizant of other New Age spiritual teachings on breathwork out there and the difference between that and the Lotus breath technologies that we're going to get into. And so this is definitely what we're going to do today. But first, we are going to activate ourselves with a code induction with the Shahaya code. Here is the Shahaya code, Becca 9, which is required before you activate Lotus Bud. So we'll do this code induction together. With optical pineal induction, softly connect with the Shahaya code through a soft cross-eyed focus for a few seconds. And then on the inhale breath, pull the image of the symbol code into the pineal gland, through the center of your forehead, and into the center of your brain. On the exhale breath, exhale and push the code down to the Maharic shield 12 inches below your feet. And then inhale and exhale and expand the Shahaya code in your Maharic shield. Continue looking at the Shahaya code while toning the name of the Shahaya for several minutes. Shahaya, 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 Shahaya. Shahaya, 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 Shahaya. Please enjoy the following video clip from the Dance for Joy workshop with Speaker 2 leading you through lotus breathing.
Begin to call to mind the Akasha symbol teardrop shape in pale silver, containing the 24.3 dimensional star or the Rusha image if you're working with it. Now imagine the Akasha Hierophant symbol at the pineal gland at the center of your brain. Inhale and forcefully exhale, pushing the Akasha Hierophant from the pineal down the central vertical current into Earth's core. Following the exhale, hold your breath for 3 to 4 seconds, imagining the 3 tiny Kirashe flames, one pale turquoise, one pale yellow, and one pale pink, gently bursting upward to surround the Akasha Hierophant within the 13th chakra at Earth's core. Inhale the Akasha Hierophant with the 3 Kirashe flames surrounding it upward to the center of your Maharic shield, 12 inches below your feet, and exhale forcefully, imagining the Hierophant and 3 flames expanding outward on a horizontal plane throughout your silver Maharic shield disc. As the Akasha and 3 flames move outward, imagine the Maharic shield disc expanding outward to about 4 feet in width. Just hold your breath now for a few seconds, while imagining that your 4-foot wide pale silver Maharic shield disc at the soles of your feet vibrates as cycling currents of pale turquoise, pale yellow, and pale pink Kirashe frequencies blend with the pale silver D12 Maharic current. Just breathe easy for a moment. And inhale, using the breath to draw a ball of Kirashe and pale silver frequency into the center of your Maharic shield from the oscillating Maharic shield disc. Imagine the 4-foot disc remains extended while a Kirashe Maharic ball collects in the center of the shield to reform a teardrop-shaped Kirashe Akasha Hierophant flame in the center of your shield. Just exhale gently when you're done, imagining that the reformed Kirashe Akasha Hierophant flame as a pale silver, energized 3-dimensional Akasha teardrop, which pulses with a repeating cycle of pale turquoise, pale yellow, and pale pink bursts of light. Now inhale slowly, using the breath to simultaneously draw 3 chords of Kirashe frequency up from the Akasha flame stationed at the center of your Maharic shield, 12 inches below the feet. Bring up to the Ombi point just below your navel. And imagine a thin cord of pale turquoise key current, the D13 ManU frequency, extending up from the Akasha flame and into the small chakra in the ball of your right foot. A thin cord of pale pink Shay current, the D15 EirA frequency, extending into the small chakra in the ball of your left foot. And a thin cord of pale yellow Ra current, the D14 ManA frequency, extends directly up your central vertical current into the base chakra between your legs. Continue the slow inhale, drawing the 3 Kirai currents up into the body at the same speed, while imagining that the pale turquoise and pale pink currents running into the feet arc to the center of your body, merging with the pale yellow center current, the 3 currents joining at the Iombi just below the navel. Exhale gently, while imagining that the meeting of the 3 Kirai chords forms a glowing emerald green crystal in the Iombi point. Inhale gently, using the inhale breath to draw the Akasha flame from the center of your Maharic shield, up through the pale yellow cord in the central vertical current and into the emerald green Kirai crystal at the Iombi point. Exhale gently when the Akasha flame has entered the emerald green crystal at the Iombi point. And then breathe gently for a few moments and try to sense a feeling of warmth or slight buzzing at the Iombi just below the navel. Now inhale a pale silver cord of D12 Maharic frequency up from chakra 13 at Earth's core, drawing it into the Akasha flame within the emerald green crystal at the Iombi point. Exhale forcefully, using the breath to expand the Akasha flame from within, while imagining that the Akasha flame and emerald crystal pop, releasing the Kirai and Akasha flame frequencies into the Iombi point. Just breathe gently for a few moments. And imagine now that a small, pale silver, indigo blue violet flame, about 2 inches high, spontaneously ignites within the Iombi. Inhale, using the breath to draw the pale silver, indigo blue violet Eros flame up the central vertical current and into the Azure point at the base of the thymus gland. Exhale gently to deposit the Eros flame within the deep azure blue crystal at the Azure point. Now inhale Maharic current up from the Earth's core and into the pale silver indigo blue violet Eros flame at the Azure. And exhale forcefully, using the breath to expand the Eros flame from within until it pops within the Azure point. Imagine that the pale silver indigo blue violet Eros frequency spreading throughout the Azure and the base of the thymus gland. Just breathe gently for a few moments. And whilst you're doing that, imagine a small azure blue flame about 2 inches high spontaneously ignites within the Azure point. Now inhale pale silver, D12 Maharic current up from Earth's core into the small azurite flame at the Azure point. And then exhale forcefully, using the breath to expand the flame outward from the Azure into the auric field, completely permeating and surrounding the physical body. Imagine that as the flame expands outward, its color changes from deep azure blue to deep emerald green blue, as the ManU, ManA, and EirA frequencies of the full Amareya flame activate within the Azure. Now just breathe gently for a few moments while imagining that the deep emerald green blue EirA flame continues to expand throughout the auric field. Imagine the auric field forming a large 3D acacia teardrop emerald flame with a pale silver, indigo blue, violet, EirA silver sanctum lining all around the body. The base of the emerald EirA flame expands downward to chakra 13 at Earth's core, while the tip expands upward to chakra 14, 36 inches above the head. And bring to mind the 4-foot wide Maharic shield disc 12 inches below your feet, and imagine that the emerald green EirA flame is now fully expanded to encompass the Maharic shield. Now return your attention to the azure point at the base of the thymus gland. Inhale, pale silver Maharic frequency up from chakra 13 to form a small 2-inch pale silver Maharic flame in the azure. And then exhale forcefully, using the breath to push the pale silver flame up from the azure and into the pineal gland at the center of the brain. Breathe gently and bring your attention into the pineal gland. Imagine that the pale silver Maharic flame holds 2 tiny crystals at its center that appear as sparks of light. One, the vibrant violet of D7 frequency, the other, the metallic yellow gold of D8. Inhale Maharic current up from chakra 13 and into the Maharic flame stationed in your pineal gland. Exhale forcefully, using the breath to fill the flame with a burst of Maharic current. And relax and breathe easily as you imagine or visualize the violet and the gold crystals within the Maharic flame vibrating for a moment. And then they burst into 2 tiny flames, one violet, one gold, within the 2-inch high Maharic flame. Now inhale Maharic frequency up from Earth's core and into the Maharic flame at the pineal gland, and gently exhale the Maharic current. And breathe easily for a moment or two. And as you do that, imagine that the tiny violet and gold flames within the Maharic flame flare in a magenta pale pink flash as they depolarize and combine with the Maharic flame, forming a silvery pink sunburst of D12 and D15 frequency within the pineal gland. Now we'll inhale Maharic current from Earth core once more. And exhale forcefully, using the breath to push the silvery pink sunburst vertically up from the pineal gland through the 7th, 10th, and 11th chakras into the 14th, 36 inches above the head. Now inhale, drawing Maharic frequency all the way up to the silvery pink sunburst in chakra 14, and again forcefully exhale the silvery pink sunburst all the way down to Earth core. Inhale again quickly, using the breath to rapidly draw the silvery pink sunburst up the center of vertical current to chakra 14, 36 inches above the head. And again exhale forcefully, using the breath to push the silvery pink sunburst down to Earth's core. Quickly inhale again once more, using the breath to pull the silvery pink sunburst up into the center of the Maharic shield, 12 inches below your feet. Imagine the silvery pink sunburst as a spinning silvery pink sphere at the center of your shield. Allow the silvery pink sunburst sphere to spin in whatever direction, speed and rhythm it chooses. Now exhale forcefully after the next inhale, using the breath to push the D12, D15 current throughout the entire Maharic shield, from the spinning silvery pink sunburst sphere at the Maharic shield center. Imagine now that your Maharic shield is glowing as a 4-foot wide disc that repeatedly cycles waves of pale silver, emerald green, blue, and silver pink frequency throughout your entire body and auric field. Right, breathe easy for a few moments then. And begin to focus your attention on a large ball of heliotalic energy, which appears to be a swirling mass of silvery pastel rainbow-colored hues. So you're focusing your attention on a large ball of heliotalic energy located way out in the universe. Ecka level 4, which is density 6. It's way out there. And the angle that you're seeing it from is the angle I described, is looking back over your right shoulder up at 45 degrees. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to draw a breath, very strong breath, pulling that ball of silvery pastel rainbow frequency down the heliotalic line, in through your right shoulder and into the EirA point just below the thymus. So in your own time, draw a good, strong, forceful breath, pulling that ball from way out there at the Ecka level, all the way into the EirA. And exhale gently into the EirA when you pulled it in. And just breathe very gently now, whilst imagining that the ball, the large ball of heliotalic frequency that is now stored in the EirA, understands what you're doing and separates out into 6 smaller balls of silvery pastel rainbow-colored energy. It doesn't matter to you how these 6 small silver balls separate out, but they will align themselves on the axes of the breaths that you're going to use. So there'll be one at the top, one at the bottom, and a group of 4 nestled side by side in the middle. Now take a gentle, steady inhale breath, and you're going to forcefully exhale the 6 balls of heliotalic energy outwards simultaneously in all 6 directions, 1 vertically up, 1 vertically down, and 4 leaving your EirA at 45-degree angles to each other, forming a cross shape if you want to think of it that way. And they go out only to about 1 inch from your body. It's the limit of your etheric body skin. And just hold your breath briefly while imagining or feeling the 6 balls of silvery pastel heliotalic frequency are stationed in your etheric body. And then inhale quite forcefully, bringing the 6 balls simultaneously back into the EirA. Now, if you're practicing at home, we've been told to just let you know that this simple exercise is one that you should initially repeat according to your inner guidance several times to build greater frequency resonance between your fields and the heliotalic frequencies, and to develop the capacity, the holding capacity in the EirA and the etheric body itself. So I'll run you through this a couple more times. We'll do 2 or 3 more repeats of this, and before we move on to the next stage. So let's go back to the beginning. Search out in your mind's eye for the large ball of heliotalic energy, and sense the fact, if you can't see anything, if you can't see any color, sense the fact it's like a swirling mass of gas, silvery pastel rainbow colored, all flowing into and through and around each other. It's huge, and it's way out in density 6. Just try and sense the reality of its being there. And then draw a very deep, forceful inhale breath and pull that ball, that large ball of heliotalic frequency, down through your right shoulder and into the EirA point just below the thymus. Just breathe gently while imagining that the large ball of heliotalic frequency, now stored in the EirA, separates out into 6 smaller balls of silvery pastel rainbow-colored energy. Now take a long, gentle, deep breath as you prepare to forcefully exhale the 6 balls of heliotalic energy outwards simultaneously in 6 directions. You push them no further than your etheric body, an inch away from the surface of your skin at this stage. And then a deep inhale breath, bringing the 6 balls of heliotalic energy at the same time back into the EirA. Easy steps. Now, without verbal instruction, repeat the process on your own, in your own time, once. And then relax. Breathe easy for a few moments, while you once again imagine the large ball of pale silvery rainbow energy separating out into 6 smaller balls of energy. And now you're going to prepare for a sequence of 6, normally, but not now, normally 6 rapid inhale-exhale breaths. And during each breath, you will visualize or imagine pushing the 6 balls of energy out on the 6 tracks that we've shown you here on the chart at the front. And the first level, you breathe in and you'll push out to density 1. You'll breathe in and push out to density 2 without bringing any balls back to the center or anything else either. You breathe out, push it to density 1, leave it there. Breathe in deeply, ready to push out to density 2, leave it there. Breathe in again deeply, push out to density 3, okay? So it'll be a series of, if you're really doing it, you'll be going, really filling your lungs and pushing each time. So you go through the 6 breaths correspond to pushing each of the 6 balls out through the density levels. Density 1, pause as you inhale, push forcefully again out to density 2, leave the ball there, draw breath, ready to push again to density 3, and so on until you reach density 6, okay? So, with your 6 balls ready, in the EirA, and don't do this too fast, okay? Breath 1, in. Density 2, breath 2. In. Breath 3, density 3. In. Breath 4, density 4. In. Breath 5, density 5. In. Breath 6, density 6. In. Bring them all back to the EirA. Just hold for a moment and just exhale gently. Bring your focus back. Take one strong inhale breath, as if you're pulling the large heliotalic ball now. No, push it rather than pull it. Take a deep breath and push the ball from the EirA down to the Yombi. And just breathe easy just for a few moments whilst you lend your assistance to the large ball in breaking down of the 6 small balls. Prepare for the 6, what would normally be rapid breaths from the Iumbi now. You have your 6 balls ready. Take your first in breath. Push out to density 1, breath 1. Leave the ball there. Breathe in. Push out to D2, density 2. Leave the ball there. Breathe in. Push out to density 3. Leave the ball there. Breathe in. Push out to density 4. Breathe in. Push out to density 5. Breathe in. Push out to density 6. Breathe in and pull all balls back into the umbi. Pull in, hold the breath, and push the large ball all the way up to the rajna in the pineal. Just breathe easily for a moment or two now. Repeat the process of assisting the large ball become the 6 small balls. You move the entire grid now up to the rajna at the pineal. Okay, breathe in from the pineal, push out the 6 balls, density 1, breath 1. Breathe in and out to density 2. In and out to density 3. In and out to density 4. In and out to 6. And in and pull the balls all the way back into the rajna. Inhale and push the large ball down to the Mahadra at the center of Earth's core. Okay, again, just breathe gently whilst you encourage the large ball of heliotalic pale silver rainbow frequency to separate out into the 6 balls. And from the Mahadra Earth core, breathe in and push the 6 balls out to density 1. Breathe in and push out to 2. In and out to 3. In and out to 4. In and out to 5. In and out to 6. And in, bringing the 6 balls back into the center, the Mahadra. Exhale gently. Inhale and forcefully exhale, pushing the pale silvery rainbow ball of energy up through the Li 2A at chakra 11 and on up to chakra 14, 36 inches above the head, popping the top spiral Merkaba seal 14. And breathe easy, spending a few minutes to feel the circulation of energy throughout the lotus petals formation and the density fields around you. So we'll begin by doing the Lotus Bud first, okay, which is a separate component, a preparatory component of the 24 ManU breaths. And I'll just guide you through it gently. Okay. Breathe easy and focus on a large ball of heliotalic energy located way out in the universe at Ecka level 4, density 6. Corresponds to the line coming in from behind your right shoulder at an angle of 45 degrees. When you're ready, forcefully inhale, pulling the ball. Try and hold focus on silvery pastel rainbow colors as you're doing this all the way through, as often as you can. In through your right shoulder and into the EirA. Hold this breath briefly while imagining the ball of heliotalic frequency in the EirA separates into 6 smaller balls by virtue of your intention. When you're ready, draw a breath and forcefully push the balls out simultaneously in 6 directions, out to a distance of about 1 inch around the surface of your body, above your head, just beneath your bottom, and out the sides of your body. Then inhale, forcefully bring the 6 balls of heliotalic energy back into the EirA. Just hold that momentarily. Let the breath go, and once again imagine the large ball of pale silvery rainbow frequency separating the 6 smaller balls of energy. Prepare for the sequence of 6 rapid breaths. Now inhale and prepare to push the balls out to density 1. In, push, 1. In, push, 2. In, push, 3. In, push, 4. In, push, 5. In, push, 6. In, pull the balls back simultaneously into the EirA and push them down to the Iumbi. Breathe easily for a moment as you prepare the 6 individual small balls. Draw your first breath and prepare to push the 6 balls out in the 6 directions. In, out. Density 1. In, out, 2. In, out, 3. In, out, 4. In, out, 5. In, out, 6. In, bring the balls back simultaneously into the Iumbi. And on the exhale, push them up to the Rajna at the pineal. Just breathe easy momentarily while you separate the balls out into the 6, and then draw your first in-breath ready to push. In, out, density 1. In, out, 2. In, out, 3. In, out, 4. In, out, 5. In, out, 6. In, pull all the balls back into the Rajna. And on the next exhale, push the single ball all the way down to the Mahadra at the earth's core. Just relax momentarily whilst you allow the large ball to be separated into 6. And then prepare for the 6 breath sequence. In, out, density 1. In, out, 2. In, out, 3. In, out, 4. In, out, 5. In, out, 6. In, bring all the balls back into the Mahadra. And on the next exhale, push the pale silvery rainbow ball of energy up through the Li Tue at chakra 11, all the way on out to chakra 14, 36 inches above the head, popping the top spiral Merkaba seal. And then just breathe easily for a few moments, feeling the frequency circulating throughout your fields and throughout all the density fields with which you're connected. We're going to reconnect with the large ball of heliotelic frequency. And we're going to bring it down to the EirA on the next inhale we do. We'll allow ourselves just a couple of short relaxing breaths while we separate out the large heliotelic ball into 6 small ones. We're working at the EirA and ready to go. In, out, 1. In, out, 2. In, out, 3. In, out, 4. In, out, 5. In, out, 6. And bring them all back to the EirA as 1. Breathe in and push on down to the Iumbi. Breathe the ball gently into the Iumbi. Prepare the 6 small balls. And then in, out, 1. In, out, 2. In, out, 3. In, out, 4. In, out, 5. In, out, 6. Bring them all back in. And then push the large ball up to the Rajna. Breathe gently, breathe the ball gently into the Rajna point. Just take a couple of short, relaxed breaths while you prepare the balls, the 6 balls again. And from the Rajna, in, out, 1. In, out, 2. In, out, 3. In, out, 4. In, out, 5. In, out, 6. And in, bring them all back into the Rajna. Back to 1 ball. And push it down to the Mahadra at Earth's core. Breathe it gently into Earth's core. Take just a couple of brief breaths as you prepare the 6 small balls. And the 6 final breaths. In, out, 1. In, out, 2. In, out, 3. In, out, 4. In, out, 5. In, out, 6. In, bring the 6 balls in, forming 1 large ball, and on the next exhale, forcefully push the pale silvery rainbow ball up through the Li Tue at chakra 11 and up to chakra 14, 36 inches above the head, popping the top spiral Merkaba seal. Final round now. On the next inhale, pull the large sphere of pale silvery rainbow frequency down from chakra 14 into the EirA. Breathe it gently into the EirA. Spend a couple of gentle breaths separating the large ball out into 6. And then in, out 1, in, out 2, in, out 3, in, out 4, in, out 5, in, out 6. Bring them all in to the EirA and push the single large ball down to the Iumbi. Breathe the ball into the Iumbi gently. Spend a couple of short, gentle breaths, producing the 6 individual balls. And then in, out 1, in, out 2, in, out 3, in, out 4, in, out 5, in, out 6, in, and bring them all in. Make single ball, and on the next out breath up to the Rajna. Push it up to the Rajna center. Breathe it into the Rajna gently. Take the brief gathering breaths. Separate the large ball into the 6. And from the Rajna, in, out 1, in, out 2, in, out 3, in, out 4, in, out 5, in, out 6, and in, and push. Okay, from the Mahadra, prepare the 6 balls once more. In, out 1, in, out 2, in, out 3, in, out 4, in, out 5, in, out 6. Bring the 6 balls back into the Mahadra, forming one large ball, and on the next exhale, push it up through the Litue at chakra 11 and on up to chakra 14, 36 inches above the head. And before we break, just spend 2 or 3 minutes now. You've done some excellent work with this first time out. And just feel the frequencies circulating of the lotus petal circuitry of the heliotonic current flows that you've created this afternoon. Just relax and feel it. This is your steering gear coming back into being.